Hello to all my wonderful students, subscribers, devout disciples, casual viewers, welcome. This is your Master GongSun. Welcome to another episode of Taoism as Applied to the News series, where I analyze news articles according to the Taoist point of view. In today's episode, we discuss Ghost Month, which is both a religious and cultural festival in East Asia. It is called ZhongYuan if you're Taoist. It's called Yulan if you're Buddhist. And it's also celebrated in not just China, but in the entire Sinosphere and in countries historically influenced by China, such as Japan, Korea, and Vietnam, to name a few, and also where there are large pockets of overseas Chinese minorities, such as in Malaysia. So let us begin here. Now, it is the 8th month of the Chinese calendar, and that is when Ghost Month is traditionally observed. This means that the gates between the living and the dead are more permeable and open. And we here on the earthly realm, what we called Renjian, would more likely encounter supernatural incidences than during ordinary time. All right, let's begin here. In Chinese mythology, how demons, spirits, ghosts, and monsters are separated. Here is the Chinese actress Gong Li. She's playing Bai Gu Jing, known as the White Bone Spirit, a very famous creature in Chinese mythology. In the story The Monkey King, you may have heard of Sun Wukong. It's also called Journey to the West, one of the 4 classics of Chinese literature. Of course, there have been numerous films and television shows adapted from the original source material, Journey to the West. And, of course, she plays this creature, literally, Bai Gu Jing means white bone spirit. It's like a skeleton, essence of a skeleton. They are spirits, and they are living and non-living entities in Chinese culture that, unlike Yao, do not only manifest in human form. So they have many forms, actually. For those of us who have seen the movie and are fluent in various Chinese dialects, you might have heard the Taoist priest say 现形, and it means reveal your true form. And then you'll see, and when they cast a spell, and if the spell is effective, then the white bone spirit will show her true form, which is a very ghastly looking thing. All right, let's begin. According to ancient Chinese legend, the Hungry Ghost Festival, which falls on September 6th this year, so that was a few days ago. As of the recording of this video, today is September 8th, so that's what it is. So the Ghost Festival started a couple days ago. That is when the gate to the underworld opens, allowing ghosts of the deceased to pass through to the realm of the living. But not all ancestors have good intentions, and it is not just human souls that take their once-a-year opportunity to visit the earthly dimension. It's true, some of them are quite evil. In Chinese mythology, there are many supernatural beings that inhabit other spiritual spheres. They are usually called Yao Guai in short. For those of you familiar with Japanese, it's called yokai, which is taken directly from the Chinese kanji. The 2 characters can respectively express bewitching and strange, but Yao Jing Gui Guai is the proper name for the entire category, which translates to demons, spirits, ghosts, and monsters. One of the earliest records of the word Yao Guai dates back to the Book of Han, a history of China, initiated by Ban Biao, a notable Eastern Han court official and historian, and finished by his son, Ban Gu. Although the book was mainly a historical account of the Han Dynasty, so for comparison's sake, the Han Dynasty in China existed at the same time as the Roman Empire in Europe. It had brief mentions of ancient legends in relation to superstitions, natural phenomena, and inexplicable events, the eeriness of which was described with the term Yao Guai. The words Yao Jing Wei Guai have always been somewhat interchangeable, perhaps for the purpose of better sounding phonetics, but they do exist as four categories with clear and separate definitions. Find out more below. Number one, Yao, and this means demons in Mandarin. In Chinese mythology, demons are animals and plants that transform into human shapes. One of the best known stories is Legend of the White Snake, a word of mouth tale that began to circulate as early as the Tang Dynasty. It is considered one of China's four great folk tales. The tale involves a white snake that, after 1,000 years of disciplined Taoist training, of course, right, it takes a long time to train in the Tao, in a cave on Mount Emei in Sichuan province, is able to transform into a human woman. From here, depictions vary. Some of the earlier stories portrayed her as a malevolent seductress, while latter versions, especially since the Ming Dynasty, depict her as a kind-hearted romantic who falls in love with a human man and encounters a series of events as a Buddhist monk attempts to tear them apart. Yes, and this has been adapted in Hong Kong cinema. I've seen the movie, it's really good. In 1972, Hong Kong songwriting duo Joseph Ku Ga Fai and Wang Jim adapted the tale in Pai Niang Niang, the first Broadway-style musical in Mandarin. It was revived in a documentary. All right. Interesting. So this is a painting in Beijing Summer Palace. I've been to the Summer Palace, called the Yiheyuan. Very famous palace here. It depicts an image of the white snake that is able to take human form. So growing up, I have always been subject to folk tales that my elders, parents and grandparents, and aunts and uncles would tell me about these strange events that happened in China. And the white snake spear, that's one of them for sure. And I've seen lots of movies about it too. Okay, number two, Jing is a spirit. So remember Jing Qi Sen, remember that? Jing meaning our essence, right? So Jing is the essence of living and non-living entities, such as plants, animals, mountains, and rocks. Yeah, so the non-living ones, they do manifest as essences. Back a while ago, there were pictures of a tree, actually, that manifested as a human-looking form. Actually, you might want to Google it. It happened in Hong Kong somewhere. Anyway, let's continue. Unlike the Yao, they do not only manifest in human form. They were widely written about in Journey to the West, a 16th century fantasy novel. See, that's what I was talking about. That has been adapted many times in popular culture, including a 1996 Hong Kong series of the same name, which was revived in 2002 with the title The Monkey King: Quest for the Sutra. So just a brief introduction. This very epic Chinese fantasy novel series is about a Taoist monk with 3 disciples with supernatural abilities and powers, and they're all going to the West. And when we say the West, we don't mean Europe, we mean India, because India is west of China. So they're going to India, northern India, the birthplace of Buddhism, to get sacred scriptures in order to enlighten and save the people of East Asia. One such being in the novel is Bai Gu Jing, or white bone spirit, the skeletal remains of a female corpse that has absorbed the essence of heaven, earth, sun, and moon. She gains the ability to shapeshift. Upon seeing a fictional Buddhist monk by the name of Tan San Zhang, she sets out to consume his flesh to obtain immortality. Yeah, that's what the novel is about, so that's the name of the monk that I just mentioned. And the rumor had it that if you eat this monk, you will become immortal. So that's why all the different ghosts and demons and spirits, they want to eat him. Of course, this is very much in the cultural zeitgeist, in the cultural lore of the Sinosphere. Anyone who grew up in East Asia or anywhere influenced by East Asian culture, Chinese culture specifically, would have heard of this series or even seen the TV show. Let us continue. To get close to Tang, she first appears as a young maiden, then as an old woman. She is detected both times by Sun Wukong, the novel's main character, a monkey born from a magical stone and beaten each time. By beaten, we mean she is defeated, like not hit, but like defeated in her quest to eat the monk's flesh. Finally, she turns into an old man who claims his wife and daughter were killed by Sun. Her masterful manipulation leads Tang not to trust Sun, which results in him almost getting eaten. Oh yeah, that happens all the time. Because they try to... All the ghosts... It's an occurring theme in the novel, for those of us who have seen it. All the ghosts and demons, they try to tear the four of them apart, to sow division and dissension and mistrust among the four of them. Alright, now we have ghosts, Gui. Ghosts in Chinese mythology are not just regular dead people, but also the manifestation of souls who, for whatever reason, are not able to exit the earthly realm and pass over to another. These are usually vengeful entities whose lives ended violently, unjustly, or with unfinished business with the living. In the 2023 Encyclopedia of Chinese Monsters, the Chinese author Zhang Yun cites a tale from the Jin Dynasty about a girl who drowned and was unable to pass over to the other side. The apparition tries to pull an innocent passerby into the river so that he would take his place as a drowned ghost, thus releasing him from his limbo. According to lore, such water gui do not always seek substitutes, but also cling to those who survive floods or nearly drown so that they may cause havoc elsewhere. Yeah, but that's very much against the Tao. If you just kill someone else to take your place, that is very, very negative karma. And lastly, we have guai, which are monsters. Similar to its English translation, guai are anomalous creatures that may have features resembling familiar animals, such as hounds or snakes, but exhibit significant deviations in size or behavior. The Painted Skin is a well-known short story that colors a gory picture of a guai. Well, this is a very famous one as well, Painted Skin, about a fox spirit. Wang is a scholar who takes pity on and is enchanted by a beautiful young woman who says she fled from her home. He decides to take her in despite his wife's objections and eventually does the deed with a young woman in his study. That's right, there is something about apparently having sex with ghosts and monsters in Chinese lore. It's supposed to be like the ultimate pleasure. Even better than with another human. So, I did not make this up, I'm just telling you what is the lore in Chinese culture. A while later at the marketplace, he runs into a Taoist priest, right? There's always a Taoist priest, right, who plays that stock role, right? Who tells him that he is possessed by malevolent spirits. Wang begins to have suspicions about the young woman, but also thinks to himself that such a pretty face is surely not a monster. See, that's how they get you, right? These monsters, they can shapeshift and they can transform into whatever shape is most pleasing to you. And that's how they seduce you. He returns home, peers through the window, and sees a green-faced monster with great jagged teeth wielding a brush to paint upon a giant piece of human skin, and then puts on the skin to transform into the beautiful woman who eats Wang's heart not long after. This cautionary femme fatale story inspired numerous adaptations in contemporary mainstream media, including the 2008 film Painted Skin and its 2012 3D sequel Painted Skin: The Resurrection, two of the most popular mainland Chinese fantasy films in recent decades. Well, there we have it. That was a quick guide to all the different demons, spirits, ghosts, and monsters, or Yao Jing Gui Guai in Chinese mythology. Now, if you are Taoist, then you will heed this warning and to be careful when the gate to the underworld opens. And I'm sure for many of you listening, you have seen some of these creatures. So please comment below and tell me your story. This has been your Master GongSun. Thank you for listening. And as usual, keep living in alignment with the Tao, lest you run into these entities.